Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the wonderful world you guys are watching from. It's Jesse Brower, Jesse Brower's Solar Leads, also the founder of Telecentric, a BPO company right here in the Philippines. Guys, I'm excited. I've got my desk set up here in the office. I'm enjoying, I worked till about, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then I slept for a little while, hop back up in the morning, come back down to the office. I've got a little apartment on top of the office that I can go and crash in. And then, of course, sometimes I'm going back to the house and sleeping over there. But, we had some pretty good results today. I set the target at $4,000 in profit. I wound up with $5,230 worth of sales. 2,000 of that actually hit the account. About 3,200 is going to hit tomorrow. I've got commitments from customers that are going ahead and pay the invoices. So wound up with about $1,000 in profit today, looking at getting a couple $1,000s in profit tomorrow. But the goal is obviously to crush $4,000 in profit tomorrow. So the goal is to, make like $4,000 a day in profit right now through selling leads, data, dialing software, and virtual assistant services. I feel great getting back on the phone and focusing. I kind of took a couple of months off. I mean, I worked a little bit here and there, from the cell phone, shooting some videos and stuff. But I kind of took a couple of months off just to spend time with my wife, to spend time with my kids. We've been up to Manila, we've been to Cebu, we went down to Dumaguete, kind of been all around, just spending time with the family and making sure to get that time in with the family and with the wife. It's super important, and I have no regrets about that. But I'm back to work, and I'm actually super excited about working in the office, interacting with the contractors that are here, talking to the clients. It's like when I hop on the phone and I start making calls and I'm following up with you guys, it's just like a money printing machine. I mean, we're doing aged solar leads. We're doing verified homeowner data from Experian. We're doing opted-in homeowner data from another source. We're doing fast anonymous auto dialing software, guys, and it's crushing it. 5 to 15-second wait times, whereas there's other dialers out there, guys, that are like 10 to 20-minute wait times to get a call. So the way ours works is it's fast, it's anonymous, it's cheap. Got the auto dialer, so we're pushing that as well. And then we're pushing the VA services. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm not sure who's tuning in, but thanks for watching right now. And we're doing VA services as well. So, you can either buy a package where you get the solar leads, the homeowner data, the dialing software, and you can have your team to go and use those tools to make your appointments. You can also have a virtual assistant in my office here to sit down and use those tools to, work for you. And it's just $1,040 per month per head. And that's a 12-hour day. We're doing 9 to 9 Eastern time. That's 6 to 6 Pacific. So depending, we can adjust that for you. And that's 10 hours of working, 2 hours of breaks. I've got people doing 4 15-minute breaks and a 1-hour lunch. So basically, they're able to, get a lot of calls in on a 10-hour shift. And for $1,040 per month, it's a steal. It's a really good deal for you guys. There's other VA companies out there that don't even do calls that are charging, $1,500 a month. If you look into like the Doers, that company out of Australia, they've worked with like 6,000 clients. They've got everybody in the Philippines all working from home, and they're charging $1,500 a month with a $1,500 deposit and a $1,500 training fee. So you're looking at $4,500 to start with them plus $1,500 a month. With us, it's just $1,040 per month, and that's all you have to pay to get started is $1,040, and then you have a month of full-time virtual assistant services for you. So it's pretty amazing. We can either go out and hire an expert in your field that you need, or we can, use one of the people that we've already got. So we've got the aged solar leads. We've got the homeowner data from Experian. We've got the opted-in homeowner data. We've got the dialing software. We got the virtual assistant services, guys. And so, everybody says niche down and do one thing. My one thing is BPO. It's outsourcing. So there's a lot of things that go into outsourcing. So it can be a little bit more complicated than just niching down. But essentially, outsourcing, appointment setting, lead generation, doing that from the Philippines and then helping you guys. So I'm just excited. You're going to expect to see more videos from me. I set up my StreamYard to stream to Twitter. I got to go into Twitter. I got to go into YouTube. I got to go into the couple of Facebook pages. It no longer allows you to stream to groups. So I can't stream directly to the groups anymore, but I can definitely stream to those platforms that I just mentioned, which is pretty exciting. So this is going out to Twitter, YouTube, a bunch of Facebook pages, and I can also share it to the groups after it's already a live stream. So that's what I'm about to do right now, is share this live stream to the groups that I wanted in, because I'm not actually able to stream directly to groups. They made that change a while back. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just going to share this to the groups. So it goes right there, and bam. So it's going live right now, public and everything. So pretty excited, guys. Hopefully it looks good. I've got the 1080p camera. I've got a good microphone on here with crisp. I'm going to check my audio and see how it sounds through this. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. So got the microphone set up with crisp on the software, so it blocks the air conditioner. You guys can't hear me clapping. You shouldn't be able to hear anything at all other than the sound of my voice, because we got that really cool software called Crisp, KRASP. And I got this, handy dandy nifty little microphone here to pick up my voice. And then I've got the 1080p Logic Cam on the monitor in front of me. So I think it looks pretty good. I think it sounds pretty good. I mean, you could always upgrade the camera. You could always do a bit better, but I mean, it looks to be picking up a pretty good high definition image of myself, and I'm pretty happy with it. Let's see what happens if I turn off the touch up my appearance. Okay, so that you can see a little bit more. You can see that I haven't shaved. If we turn off the touch up my appearance, and yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good too. I mean, that's really crisp. I think I like it better without the touch up my appearance, because the touch up my appearance thing, all it's really doing is kind of just blurring the image a little bit to make it a little bit softer. But I like that really crispy look. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about aged solar leads. At the beginning of the year, I went to Alaminos, 100 Islands in the Philippines with my wife and kids, and it was absolutely epic. It was totally sick. I enjoyed that, and climbed up a stairway on one of the islands. Had to take a little boat. We went to a few of the islands, took a little boat. I climbed up a stairway, and from the top of one of the islands, I was doing my videos, and I was like, guys, this year, 2024, my goal is to beat every other vendor on price and match the quality for solar leads. And as far as I know, I've done that. I don't know of anybody that beats my pricing on aged solar leads. And you guys may have heard different things about me. There may have been some complaints that you saw on Facebook, and that's true. I own up to it. I admit it. But I challenge you to find one complaint anywhere on the internet in regards to my homeowner data, in regards to my leads, in regards to my dialing software. I challenge you to find one negative review about any of those things. The only thing that you're going to find is if you see a negative review, it would be about the preset guaranteed sit orders that we took. And it was not really a sustainable model. It wasn't a good model. We weren't charging per head. We weren't doing the VA thing. What we were doing back then from November to March is we were selling guaranteed sits. We were doing $375 a sit. We were taking orders of 10 or 20 of those sometimes. And, we kind of got in over our head. We didn't have enough telemarketers, and we weren't able to, do the guaranteed sit orders at scale like we wanted to do. So I did get some bad reviews about the guaranteed sits. I got out of that. I, made it right with most of those people. I'm still working on making it right with some of them. I've got a guy right now that's willing to accept a dialer and some leads and some data to, cover the guaranteed sits orders to kind of compensate for that. And, there's nobody that can't reach me. Anybody can reach out to me and we can make a deal. I can do leads, data, dialer. So if you ordered a guaranteed sits order from me and you did not get a satisfactory result, just reach out to me. I can hook you up with some aged solar leads, some homeowner data, a dialing software. That's what we've always done well in, guys. And we're no longer doing the guaranteed sits. And right now, I don't know anybody that's offering guaranteed sits. I knew one guy that was doing it. He was charging $500 per guaranteed sit, and then he ended up selling that business. So what I know of now is companies that are offering appointments, but the guaranteed sits is few and far between. It's kind of hard to do. It's hard to do a guaranteed sit model. It's much more sustainable and realistic to sell appointments and then have people to go on ahead and confirm those and go out. And maybe you're going to see a 30 to 40, maybe 50% sit rate out of those. But if you're operating a brick and mortar call center, you've got to be able to charge for those appointments, those leads that you're creating, and we cannot guarantee that those people are going to sit down. So we just don't get into it anymore. We don't offer guaranteed sits. It's not something that we do. It's not something that we're ever going to do. But bottom line, this works. You just have to realize that not everybody's going to sit down. If you buy the tools, or if you go knock doors for that matter, if you buy a data dialer, leads, and you call them, not all of your appointments are going to sit down either, because that's just the way that it works. You're going to see about a 40% sit rate. maybe 50% if you do some things to really make them sticky. But you're never going to see 100% sit rate, because that's not the way it works when you're generating appointments for solar or roofing or really anything else. I mean, you cannot guarantee that somebody's going to sit down. So, when you're knocking doors, it's the same way. When you're calling your own leads, it's the same way. There's never a 100% sit rate. There's never a 90% sit rate. I don't care what anybody says. It's not happening, right? Where, you're seeing a 40% sit rate, maybe a 50% sit rate in some scenarios, and sometimes as low as a 30% sit rate on your door knocked appointments, on your own appointments that you're generating no matter what. So we're not in the guaranteed sits business. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is provide the leads for you to call, the homeowner data, the dialing software, and super targeted lists. Guys, I'm able to use ChatGPT now to upload a solar leads list and say, before I sell it to a customer, say, get rid of all the apartments, get rid of all the trailers, get rid of all the condos, because all it has to do with the AI is go in there. And I mean, manually, it would be a pain in the butt, especially because if you're searching for like APT or space, it's all formatted differently. It doesn't look the same. So manually, it would take a long time to get all the apartments out. But I use ChatGPT AI to go in there and remove apartments, remove condos, remove trailers before I even sell you a list. So now I can sell you a hyper-targeted homeowner list or a solar lead list that doesn't contain those apartments and those condos and those trailers that maybe a normal list would have in it. So that's something that I'm doing that I haven't heard about anybody else doing that helps to make the list more targeted. So our focus, guys, is the solar leads, the homeowner data, both from Experian and the Opted source, and the fast auto dialer. I'm telling you guys, the dialer is crushing it. It's absolutely crushing it. I've tried other dialers. I've tried Dominic Peters. I've tried some of the other people out there. And I'm telling you right now, we're getting 5 to 15 second pickups. And that's what matters. The great, the damn check mark, the great check mark and all this stuff, it doesn't matter. What matters is how often are you getting a pickup? How often is somebody picking up that phone? And if we're getting a 5 to 15 second pickup rate, it's crushing. It's crushing. We're doing a VA work for another client in our office right now, and he has us using his dialer. Let me tell you, they're getting like 10 to 20 minute wait times. Today it was like 10-minute wait times to get a call, which is absolutely, unsustainable. I mean, you can't have somebody working full time and get a call every 10 to 20 minutes and expect to get any kind of results. It's not going to work. You need a faster dialer. You need something that, connects calls. We've got 300,000 automatically rotating caller ID numbers that we use, and we rotate those out every day. It's included in the dialer. So, what we'd like to do is sell you the leads, the data, the dialing software, give you customer support on all that stuff, have you guys to set your own appointments from the tools. That's what a lot of people have had success with. And then if you do want help with that, if you want help and you understand reasonably what to expect from a Filipino virtual assistant, which is typically 1 to 2 or even 3 appointments a day, sometimes 1, sometimes 2. I've got one guy that did 3 today. If you understand what to expect from a Filipino virtual assistant and you know what you're getting into, then we'll do VA services for $1,040 per head per month, 10-hour shifts. So it's actually a 12-hour shift, but with 4 15-minute breaks and a 1-hour lunch. So it winds up being about 10 hours of call time minus the training. Sometimes it can be 8 or 9 hours of call time because we do a lot of training in this office. We study some Andy Elliott stuff. We study a whole bunch of sales stuff. And we do a lot of training in this office. So sometimes it ends up being 8 or 9 hours on the phone, not 10. But you want that. And what you've got to understand is whenever you and your door knockers are using the data, the leads, and the dialer to make the appointments, you're always going to get a better result than if you outsource to Colombia or to the Philippines, because you're the expert. You're the solar pro. You're the one selling the solar. You know your craft. The door knockers are the ones out there knocking the doors. They know their pitch. So if you get your door knockers together and instead of doing a blitz where you have to pay for Airbnbs and food and travel, if you just do a leads, data, and dialer package and have everybody get together at one of your guys' houses and do a phone blitz, you're going to have a much better result than if you outsource that to the Philippines or anywhere else. Hands down, 100%. You get an American who knows solar, you're out there knocking doors, you're out there selling solar on the phone with leads and data, that person's going to crush 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7, 8 appointments per day, in like a 6-hour calling session. Whereas you get a Filipino person where, you're up against the accent, you're up against the fact that they're not, trained in solar, as in selling it. They know the solar script on how to set an appointment, but they're not just as agile to be able to do what you're doing, to sound like that expert. It's basically read a script and get an appointment. And even with that, in the Philippines, using that script, using that cold data, using that dialer software, a solid Filipino appointment setter should be expected to do between 1 and 3 appointments a day in like a 10-hour shift. So not the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 appointments a day that door knocker is going to get if they hop on the phone, or if you're going to get if you hop on the phone, because it just, there's these different dynamics. But if you know what you're getting into, and you're willing to say, hey, I'm willing to spend $1,000 for 1 to 2 appointments a day from a Filipino VA, and it doesn't matter to me that they have an accent. It doesn't matter to me that the results aren't going to be the same as my door knocking team. Then it's worth it, and it is scalable. You can definitely get results out of the Philippines or Colombia, or other places like Egypt, and you can hire people, and you can, reliably crunch the numbers and say, hey, I'm $1,000 a month, $1,040 a month. This person's going to reliably set between 30 and 60 appointments a month. It's worth it. It's still an insane value. But when you look at, like, say, hey, I'm going to get a commission door knocker to go out and do this, you might end up giving a bunch more money up to that commission door knocker if you're giving, like, 20, 30 cents to the setter. Whereas, they might make 5, 6, 7, 8 appointments in a day, but how much do you have to pay out of that deal? Whereas if you're generating leads for your people, by using Filipino telemarketers and VAs, and you're getting 30 to 60 appointments a month out of that one VA, and then you're able to give that lead to a sales guy and mark up the red line and put a 50-cent or a 30-cent adder on that red line. Now you're making insane money. So it makes sense, but you just got to have your head wrapped around it and understand what the numbers are. You got to understand it. If you're going to have a Filipino virtual assistant, and you're going to listen to the call and say, hey, wait a minute, they have an accent. Yeah, no shit, they have an accent. But at the end of the day, you can still expect 1 to 2 appointments a day out of that person. You can still expect a certain result at the end of the day, at the end of the month, from that type of process. Is it going to be as clean as when your door knockers do it or when you do it yourself? No, but it's going to cost you your time. It's going to cost more money when you put an American on there who wants a big commission split out of the deal for doing those calls, or putting them on 18 or 20 or $25 an hour. Whereas you can have somebody work, 50 hours a week for $1,000. So it's just, what do you want? You want somebody that is going to require a big commission split for making calls, like an American guy, or do you want somebody that you can hire for $1,000 a month and reliably get 30 to 60 appointments from, of a certain quality? And maybe you close 10 of them, maybe you close 5. But even if you close 5 in a month from $1,000 invested, that's sick. The numbers work out fantastically no matter what, no matter how you look at it. But if you come at it like, oh, hey, I heard that call, it sounded like shit, they have an accent. If you're not thinking about the big picture about what the result is, then you're not gonna be able to benefit from using people either in Colombia, Egypt, or the Philippines. We only use Filipinos. I live here in the Philippines, and it does work. I'm telling you guys, it absolutely works. We've crushed it in the past. Doing guaranteed sits is a stupid model. It doesn't work for the call center. What works for the call center is having VAs sit in their cubicle and dial for 10 hours and reliably get 1 to 2 appointments a day, period. That's it. And then you're going to see between a 30 and a 50% sit rate on those. So at the end of the day, if they set, 60 in a month, you're going to expect that out of those 60 in a month, maybe what is 30% of that on a low? That would be 20, 20 appointments, right? So out of 20 sits, maybe you get 10 closes, maybe you get 6 closes, maybe 7, depending on you. Say you only get 5 though. Let's just go worst case scenario. You got a setter who's doing that with that sit rate, your close rate, 5 solar sales for the cost of $1,040 per month is a sick return. It's an absolutely sick return, especially if you're not paying much more for the dialer and the data, which you can get cheaply from me. And the data can be used over and over and over again, and the dialer is just nominal. It's going to cost you maybe $100 a month, 150 in minutes, depending on the person. So you say, okay, 1,040 plus maybe 150 in a minute, and then you get data, one time every quarter, and then it just becomes, absolutely sick. The numbers are great, and then you can scale that. You can say, okay, 5 deals for $1,500, whatever on average. And then I want to do that with another person and another person and another person. So you can have 5 people doing it. Now you're talking about 25 deals a month, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one way to do it. Or you can just get the tools yourself, and you can actually just keep your door setter closer model and have your door knockers do a phone blitz. You're going to get quicker results. You're going to get better quality appointments because you guys know your craft more than an outsourced telemarketer knows. But at the end of the day, both methods work. It depends if you want automation and you want hands off, you just want to show up and close appointments, or what you want. And we do have the ability to confirm appointments before you go out. So but I'm excited about it, guys. I'm absolutely excited about selling the aged solar leads with the Journey token, the IP address, the Experian homeowner data, credit worthy, income worthy, verified homeowner, single family home, 650 and above credit, 40,000 above income, cell phone numbers, email addresses, scrubbed with AI to make sure that all the renters are out of there, all the apartments and condos are out of there. And we can do that for you. And then we have the opted-in homeowner data as well that comes with the IP address. They've opted into other verticals. We call that High Connect or opt-in homeowner data, which is great as well. So you can use that, or you can get a list of solar leads, which I do something a little bit different that I don't think anybody else is doing that I know of, because they don't want to shrink the file. But I don't care. I'll shrink the file, give you a better quality. So like when I get a solar leads list, I scrub it through AI, and I tell AI, remove all the ones that have APT or condo or space, and it does it in like 5 seconds. So earlier I sold a file about 20,000 solar leads, and I had to scrub about 400 of them out before I delivered it to the client. I had AI go in and clean up the file, get rid of the condos and the renters and things like that. And then, you can leave mobile homes in there depending on the client, because, you can still sell mobile homes. But bottom line, guys, it's the way to money. Solar is still booming. I mean, think about this. Think about this for a minute. Everybody's panicking and they're freaking out. They're saying, hey, solar's had a big downturn. But do you guys realize that in 2024, solar is astronomically bigger than it was in 2019 and 2020? And for those of you guys that were in it, I've been in it since 2017. You guys remember 19 and 20 were sick years. I mean, we made so much money. We made so much money in 19 and 20 in solar, and it was sick, and it was just going up, and it was booming. But do you guys realize that in 2024, solar is astronomically bigger than it was back then? Everybody's freaking out because it got huge in 2023, and then we took a 40% hit, like 40% reduction in solar sales first part of 2024. They was like, oh my God, the sky is falling, solar is going out of business. But it's not. That's stupid. What's happening is all the bad companies are going out of business. The ones that did shit the wrong way, they're hooking up solar panels, they're not connecting the electricity, they're taking pictures, and they're moving on to the next job without connecting the solar. So you had a bunch of solar companies go out of business, and more are going to go out of business for bad business practices. But regardless of all that bullshit, solar today, and go fact check me, I've already done all the research on this, solar in 2024 is astronomically bigger than it was in 19 and 20, when everybody was pumped and it was on an upward trend. Just because it's on a goddamn downward trend, it hasn't fucking dipped below what it was in 19 and 20, when we're all making shitloads of money. And the people that are still professionals and they're still in it are still making shitloads of money. I personally know people. I was on a mastermind cruise with a couple of guys, a bunch of guys with the Michael O'Donnell crew, Sam Taggart. I mean, absolutely crushing it, wearing $100,000 watches and stuff, all because of solar and some roofing. So you can't tell me that solar is not amazing. It's huge. It's way bigger than it was before, and it continues to grow. It just had a bubble into 2023, and it needed to pop, and some of those companies needed to go out of business, and some of those practices needed to stop. Like loading a commission of 15 or 20 grand into a solar deal has always been unethical. It's always been a shitty thing to do. And, a lot of the people that were doing that are no longer in the industry anymore. And that's how it should be. Go talk to Mike. Mike has always sold at like 285, 290. And he's done that ever since. And he still does that today. And, a regular solar commission for a regular solar guy, should be between like $3,000 and $4,000 and maybe $5,000. When you're talking about loading a deal with $15,000, $20,000 in commission, that's what fucked up the goddamn industry. And it's your fault for doing it. If you did that, you can thank yourself for, the problems that we're going through, right? But even with all that stuff, solar is still astronomically bigger than it was in 2019, 2020, billions and billions of dollars. I looked it up, and on average, there's like 14,000 solar systems going in a day right now. Right now. Imagine that number, guys. All over the United States, on an average of 14,000 solar systems, residential solar systems going in a day. It's an astronomical number. It's huge. And you can jump in and get a piece of that. And if you're willing to work and not be a lazy bum who just wants to do one deal a month and make $15,000 or $20,000 in commission, and then have them cancel because they realize that they got fucked. If you actually want to work and go out and put up numbers and do 10, 12, 15 deals a month at $3 to $5 grand a piece, you can make really good money in solar, and you can have deals that stay on the books, and you could get those deals and those appointments by the verified homeowner data, the opted-in homeowner data, the opted-in solar leads, the fast anonymous auto dialing software. Why do I always talk about anonymous? Because some people don't want to be called. So if you call somebody that doesn't want to be called, it can end up being a bad thing for you. So you're better off not to, disclose who you are in the beginning of the call. And I talked to a telemarketing lawyer about that. That's why we always just use the Zero Down Solar program. And so, right now we're using a Bright Future Solar. So in the telemarketing script, you can say different things, guys, in the beginning, and have kind of a phone name that you use. And then once you've got a live one on the hook, somebody that is willing to actually talk about solar and you're feeling them out, that's when you can give them more information. You can sit down and actually close a solar deal. And it's not foolproof. Some asshole might still try to set an appointment with you just to bait you, and that kind of thing does happen, but it's pretty rare. And this method still works. Aged solar leads, verified homeowner data, dialing software. Whether you have you and your door knocking team sit down and do a phone blitz, whether you have people working from home doing it in the United States, or whether you outsource to the Philippines, you just have to know your numbers and know what to expect when you outsource to the Philippines. You're not going to get the same kind of result as when you take a door knocker and put him on the phone. You're going to get a less per day, less per worked hour, but you're also going to pay way less. If you're paying 10, 20, 30 cents to a door knocker to sit down on the phone and make those appointments, you pay $1,000 a month for one Filipino that's going to work 50 hours a week and still produce, 30 to 60 appointments in a month. And you might end up with 5 to 10 solar sales out of that, for that $1,000. And you can scale that. And then now we're using tools to, improve the quality before you can send the appointment. So it's possible to do that. But no, you're going to hear more from me, guys. I'll be reaching out to you. I'll be doing more videos. I'll be sitting here at my desk, at night when the telemarketers are here, and then after when they leave, and then just making sure I get enough sleep and stuff. But I'm just excited to be alive. I'm excited to be doing business in the Philippines. I want to be here. I'll tell you, it is rough in the Philippines. I mean, compared to, living in the United States and having bigger, wider roads and clean environment and stuff. The Philippines can be pretty rough, but what's cool about the Philippines is that it's on an upward trend and everything is always improving all the time. So every time you look around, there's a new business, it's a new restaurant, something's improving with the roads. So it's fun to be a part of that startup culture here in the Philippines, to be part of the just improvement. So my kind of goal is to everything that I touch, make sure that it's a first world standard and make sure that we're making a positive impact in the Philippines. And I believe that we are. So that's what it is, guys. If you want any solar leads, any homeowner data, whether it be the Experian or the opt-in homeowner data, whether you want the dialing software, whether you need a VA to help you with that, just text leads to 802-349-9386. That's just text leads to 802-349-9386. That's my iPhone, guys. I got AT&T international roaming. I'll get it anytime you send the text, and I will get back to you. I'll personally talk to you. We'll get a deal done. And yeah, I mean, we're crushing it. So did really well today. We're going to do really well tomorrow. And I'm excited about everything that's happening. So just thanks for watching the live. Thanks for being my customers. Thanks for supporting and everything. And again, if you saw bad reviews about me, it was about the goddamn guaranteed sits. It was a stupid business model. I have made it right with most people. I'm in the process of making it right with other people. And we don't do guaranteed sits anymore. It's a stupid business model. And I don't know anybody that's offering guaranteed sits anymore, because it's not a good business model. The better business model is literally to say, hey, look, here's the leads, the data, the dialer, make the appointments, expect a 30 to 50% sit rate, and go make money, and not try to guarantee a sit-down meeting, because by doing that, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, because you know that not everybody's going to sit down. So that's what it is, guys. It definitely works if you work it, and I'm looking forward to helping all of you guys out. And, just again, thanks for watching. Rock and roll.